remember my first meditation class, and I don't know what I was expecting, but it definitely was not what I got. I sort of expected that I would sit down and I'd be given this magic technique, and that my mind, which was just a battle zone, would automatically shut off, like turning off a light switch, and I would drop into this peaceful place, and the heavens would open up, and my heart would be full of love, and all would be well in the world. Maybe even a bluebird would land on my shoulder. Of course, none of that happened. What I experienced was even more chaos. It was not pretty. But what I learned shortly after that first meditation experience was that this is part of the plan. The Yoga Sutras, which are one of the foundational texts for yoga, state that the purpose of yoga is to still the turning of thought. To still the turning of thought. And why this is important is a little bit hard to understand, but I have a pretty good metaphor that might help. If you turn on a fan, like a fan to cool down your house, when the fan is off or moving slowly, you can see the blades on the fan. But when it's moving really fast, the fan becomes invisible. Now, even though you can't see the fan anymore because it's moving so quickly, you can still feel the air blowing against you. It's still having an effect. You just can't see it. You can't see the cause, but you can feel the effect still. This is what our mind is like. It's spinning so quickly that we can't even see it happening. It becomes just this jumble of habitual thoughts that are tumbled over and over again super fast, that create waves that go out and affect the decisions we make and our relationships and our ability to focus or not focus on work and creative pursuits. And so in yoga, we don't just talk about the busyness of the mind. We talk about, well, what do we do about it? And there's a number of things. I'd like to focus on 3 of them today. The first is your body. And this is why we roll out a yoga mat in the first place. The body is inherently present. If you have a big experience, like say stubbing your toe or sneezing, in that moment, there is only that moment, right? When you stub your toe, you're fully present. When you sneeze, there's no tomorrow and there's no yesterday. There's just this moment. The body has this inherent capacity to bring the mind present. And so the yoga practice of asana, that's the various poses we do, or even sitting when we meditate, is the practice of anchoring the mind in the physicalness of the body. It's using this thing that craves a lot and likes to avoid pain a lot to anchor us, to keep us present. One of the key ways in which we still the turning of thought is by staying present, and the body brings us there. So just the fact that you're developing a yoga practice of any kind, if you're rolling out a yoga mat and doing poses, whether they're restorative or alignment focused or vinyasa flowing practice, whatever it is, being in the body will bring you present, and it will help you still those turnings of thought. The second thing is pranayama. Pranayama is yogic breathing. What ancient yogis understood is that when you are a chaotic mess up here, your breath reflects that, right? It's sporadic, it's rapid, it's unregulated. But when you are focused, when you naturally slip into those moments of concentration and mindfulness and presence that we all have on occasion, on accident almost, your breath does something very different. And so what they did was they came up with techniques that mimicked the way we breathe when we're in those mindfulness states. And that, of course, brings the mind, the chaotic mind, closer to that mindfulness state that we're hoping to achieve. The act of regulating the breath will still the turning of thought. It will slow down that fan so you can see the blades that are generating the wind. The third one I want to talk about is a mantra. Now, your mind has a constant internal dialogue, a constant chatter. It never, ever shuts up. And that's sort of the nature of the mind, especially the conscious mind. What if, though, you could choose the script you were going to read? Most of us have thoughts, and we treat them as if they're happening to us from an outside force, right? But you have a lot of choice about what it is you think. One way a mantra can help is by saying, okay, my mind habitually wants to focus on this, on what's going on the evening news, or what's going on in politics, or if my favorite sports team is going to make it to the finals. That's habit thinking. The mantra is a singular focus point, usually a word or a prayer, frequently in a foreign or ancient language like Sanskrit, but not always, that takes the mind and says, okay, I know you want to be over here dwelling on this other stuff, but instead I'm going to pull it back and anchor it here in this mantra. When we do this, when we can anchor the mind on that mantra, the breath or the turning of thought naturally comes to stillness. It naturally slows down. Maybe not immediately, but it will get slower, if not stop, probably just slower though, each time you return to your mantra. So again, the three things you can do: you can focus on your body, focus on your breath, train the mind on a mantra. You can do one of these things, or you can incorporate all three, or any combination of these three, and you will find that your mind will become much more focused, that you will have the discipline to rein your mind in when it's going crazy, and that insane, chaotic monkey mind will start to calm down. I want to leave you with this image. The first time I went to India, I had many encounters with monkeys in India, but one of the most profound was I got up my first full morning in India and I climbed up to the roof of my hotel, and I rolled up my mat and I did some yoga and I sat to meditate, and I heard this sound, and I thought it was my traveling companion Christopher coming to sit and meditate with me. When I opened my eyes, when my meditation was done, I realized that it was this giant black-faced monkey who saw me meditating and came to join me. And so even monkeys have the ability to become still. What we need to do is train the monkey that lives up here to calm down, to be our ally and our friend rather than a constant source of distraction. So I hope you found that helpful. I post videos on a regular basis, so I hope you'll subscribe to this channel, like and share this video if you found it helpful. If you'd like more information about me and my work, darrenmain.com, or you can connect with me on social media, and I have a number of books available on Amazon and Audible that can help you learn more about the philosophy and practice of yoga and meditation if you're interested in taking a deeper dive. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next video.